It's a scramble here this morning to get everything done in time. It's what happens when plans change. The title that I've finally ended up with here this morning is "The Recommended High Road is a Dead End." I had an idea where I might go with today's video. Should have put yesterday in front of that. However, the dream I had just before I woke up changed that, along with a couple of messages in my inbox. It was a very strange dream. There were two teachers, a man and a woman. I had agreed to, a man and a woman, I had agreed to pick up and give a ride to the schools, two separate schools. After dropping the man off at the first school, I was convinced to take the high road with the woman to the other school. However, once we reached the summit, it was all downhill, ending in entrapment. In an entrapment is what I wrote. There was nothing and no one there. It was a dead end. One of the emails said, quote, "It's like even though you know being a beacon attracts cannibalistic carnivores, and that was always going to be the outcome for standing in truth, suddenly, for just that second, you glimpse the end result and remember why." And the other email stated, "There is no wrong," and I added way, "other than not standing in your own truth." It's amazing, quite honestly, that I managed out of 100 emails in that particular inbox that I was able to read those two in the limited amount of time that I had after I came back from the meditation room. When I had the dream, it was so weird. I mean, there I am giving these two people a ride to school. The first school was in one of the towns that I was familiar with, where I grew up, and the other school was in the next town. And we dropped the man off at the first school. All three of us were out of the vehicle. And the woman and the man were together, and they were talking before she came back, and I was going to let her drive, actually. And she went to the passenger side and said, "No, you drive." And we started, and I knew how to get to the other school. I mean, I knew the way. And all of a sudden, I'm convinced to go up this highway, which was like literally, and this is going to sound really strange, it was literally like riding up the side of an orange, except the orange had vegetation and houses on either side, but there was a road going up the middle that was an orange road, or you could say gold, but in my dream it appeared like I was riding up the side of an orange, and it was very steep, and then it started to level off, and then it started going downhill, and it became really, really steep. And when I got to the other thing, I was all by myself. I don't know where the woman went, but we never made it to the school, and everything was like boarded up. And I busted through one of the boards, I busted through and looked out, and I said, "There's no one, there's nothing here, there's no one here, it's a dead end." But I was all alone. She was gone. Whoever she was gone. Both the teachers had disappeared, and in taking the high road, I was left at the end of nothing, with nothing, by myself. Now, I know some of you are going to put some pieces together as my mind is doing in the meditation. When I came to the meditation room, it started making a little bit of sense, even though I laid for 15 or 20 minutes after the dream. After I woke up, I laid in bed before getting up and going to the meditation room. When I finally got up around 3:30 to go to the meditation room, I still didn't want to, I wasn't going to talk about this at all because it didn't make sense. But as I'm sitting in the meditation room saying, no, what is this showing you? What is this showing you? You were listening to these two teachers who, and they were taking you up what they claimed to have been a high road. And yet you knew the way. You knew the way, but you went their way anyway. And look where it brought you. Look where it brought you. It brought you to a dead end with nothing, no one with you. They both disappeared. Neither one of them was there at the end of the high road, which descended rapidly. It was a very big disappointment. The high road didn't go high. It only appeared for a while to lead upward. And then I come to the computer, and as I said, I had 100 emails in that inbox, and I happened to jump out with the two, one from Dustin and one from Todd, neither one of whom I know personally. I've read you the parts of each of those emails that were significant messages to me having to do with the dream. I glimpsed the end result, which is what I did in the dream, and I remember why. Standing in my truth, the truth that I know, is not the high way, but it's the low way. It's the way of embracing our humanity, not trying to escape it. It's the way of living in 3 dimensions, not trying to get to a higher dimension. The higher dimension, at least for me, would end up as a dead end. And the teachers that were trying to get me to go that way would disappear. They wouldn't even be there for me at the end of the road. I would be all alone at the end of the road. Something to ponder. I'd probably be pondering that one even after this video is complete, and who knows, maybe for days, maybe not. But I felt it was important to share that dream this morning, and I'm not going to go long. I think I'm going to be a real short video today. Real short video. Maybe the dream is just for me, and maybe there's a message in it for somebody else. But for me, it's beware of those that think they're going to take you to a high road that's going to be up above everything and not connected to the way that you know, to what you're here for, the grounding, the familiar way. And you know, there's a contradiction in that, even that I can see. Because sometimes what we consider the familiar way is not the right way either. Sometimes it does have to be a different way. You don't solve a problem with the same consciousness that created the problem. I know that. That comes to mind. Nevertheless, the message for me in the dream seemed to be true to yourself. Stand in your own truth. And that's the way that's right for you. Your own truth. I leave you with that thought. I leave myself with that thought. And that's all there's going to be today. Thanks for listening. Namaste.